Good evening. It is 7:04 on May 23rd. I'd like to call the Public Safety and General Government Committee meeting of the Common Council to order. This evening, we have Mr. Jim Frere, we have Mr. Jalen Seed, we have Mr. Doug Sutton, and we have Miss Heather Dunn and myself in attendance. Do we have anybody here for public participation?
We do not. We do not.
Okay. I'm just gonna give, okay, great. I see Chief Walsh and Chief Conti are attendees.
I'm just promoting them all to panelists now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to open and close public participation. And we have Deputy Chief Denho too. I want to recognize him. Do we have a motion to move the acceptance of the minutes, please? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Do we have any changes, deletions, or corrections to the minutes from April 25th? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Frere abstains. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, guys. There's new rules in place, and we have to have you as attendees and then start the meeting and then move you over. So it's a brave new world of technology we're living in, and we're just trying to keep up with it. So we have new business. Number one is from the fire department. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a contract with First Due Fire Department Records Management Software for a total not to exceed $48,000 or $48,040, excuse me, account number noted. Can I have a motion to move this item, please? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. So with us tonight, we have Mark Conti, and I'm going to turn this over to you to give us a little bit of background, and then we can open it up for discussion and or questions.
Okay, thanks, Jen. Good evening, committee members. So the fire department has used, it's called ESO software. It's our records management software for the past 3 years. We're finishing up that contract. That software was the first of the new platform, and it did not perform as promised. The good thing is that First Due came out within those 3 years, and that has every surrounding department has that now. And this is actually the first software for us that's enabled us to really have every single part of our records management in one software. And it's great. And we're actually able to hot swap and share our pre-plan and share our information with surrounding departments. For example, if Stanford comes into our town, since they have the software, they can switch to the Norwalk and they'll have our pre-planned software. They'll have all of our building information, all our hydrant information. It's a great asset. And this is definitely a great upgrade. And even bigger, I think, for the public participation part, this software is a big step forward in our inspection for the fire marshal division, where they're able to do inspections as they are doing right now. However, this has a community connect feature that no other software has, where the community can has its separate login, and they can connect in and they can actually put pre-planned information for their private addresses if they have, you know, special needs, if they have any issues with their home, and it goes into our pre-plan instantly. And they're actually coming out with software where we can interact and people can schedule their inspections right through the software. So this is going to be a huge improvement in our efficiency all around, really. Are there any questions on it?
My question is for the pre-plan information that people can go in and utilize, how are we planning on getting that information out to residents?
So they told us, because obviously once we start this, we're going to have we're migrating old records. We're going to use everything. And within their training, they're going to show us how to do that and explain. We actually asked them, and they said they'll show us how to market that, and we can have how you get that website out and the links into it. And it's great because it's completely secure. It's like they're not going into our software. They're going in, it's a separate link. And that's just going to be, you know, we'll be able to they said we can basically upload it onto any site, or probably the City of Norwalk site is what we anticipate, and the fire department sites. I think it's going to be a really huge improvement, because that's a big step, because obviously the fire marshal division, if you're not aware, they can only inspect 3 family and up. And then, so two-family in private dwelling, in a two-family, they can only go into a public space. So this gives the ability for people to reach out and say, I really would rather have the fire department know, any special needs that I have or any special conditions within my home that are there. Or even like family members can say, if they have parents living by themselves or something like that, we can know that information on the way to those calls.
That's really
So-
great. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this particular item? Yes, Mr. Fair.
Yes, I did. So I read in the backup that, and you alluded to the fact that you can access the same information that Stanford has that we will have, and Stanford could also access what we have. Does that also go for the volunteer fire departments too? Can they access your information and vice versa?
Only if they have First Due software. So we'd have to give them, they would have to have that software and we'd have to give them the licensing for it. So I would have to, it would depend on what the department runs. Right now, I know New Canaan, Westport, Stanford,
Volunteer or regular city departments?
well, Stanford's all paid.
Okay.
Westport's all paid. And New Canaan's a combination department, but that whole department runs it. They're one department, so they can all access it. And I'm not sure. Obviously, our closest is Rowayton, and I'm not sure if I'd have to talk to the Chief Decline there to find out what. I think he's using ESO right now, but I'm not sure if he'll be switching over. But he may want to switch over in the future as well, and then he'd be able to access that as well.
I would think it would be incumbent upon him to switch over at the time that you guys are integrating your new system.
Yeah, and I'd have to discuss with him because I'm not sure where his contract is. Like, we signed a 3-year contract, so I had to wait. I actually wanted this software over a year ago when I tried it, but we just had to wait because we had a 3-year contract.
Right.
I'm not sure what he did. He may not have done it. ESO, when we started, that was right in the beginning, and they were doing only like long-term contracts. They may have changed since then, so I'm not sure. I'll definitely have a discussion with him about it now that I know.
So with all this other personal information you're collecting too, is there another? Well, two questions. First of all, so you would not be able to access the same personal, or you wouldn't have the personal information if you were to be doing an assist in Rowayton, for example.
Oh, no, we can do our own pre-planning. So we would still do that pre-planning. Yes. Honestly, we can do that. I mean, we'll still do our pre-planning. So if the schools in Rowayton and all of that, if we're doing any pre-planning in there, it's going in our software.
Okay, so, but I mean, for elderly family that may live in my house, or some disabled person that may live in another house, that's the kind of information you want to have.
Yeah,
right?
and it could absolutely be in there because that software, the map that we use and the database we use is the city of Norwalk. So,
yeah, so when you get
those addresses are there.
Yeah, so when an alarm comes in, would you also automatically get the Rowayton alarms as well as Rowayton does?
We do now, yes. We have an
Okay.
automatic aid package with them.
Okay, so I guess my point is that I would just be very interested to make sure that that public awareness program that you're going to, when you integrate the systems, that's going to be citywide. I would just want to make sure of that.
Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely citywide because again, our database, we have all those addresses in our database and we use it because we respond there regularly anyway, just on EMS calls and on fire alarms to the schools. So we respond and we have automatic aid for any fires. And actually our new automated software that we're switching to in 2 weeks has the ability when the dispatchers put out the calls, it actually simulcasts now. Instead of them having to do it in 3 different ways, it'll simulcast for a call into Rowayton. It actually tones out their pagers and tones us out in the stations at the same time. If we're going on that same call, it does it automatically now. It has
Okay, so you're getting the same information that they're getting.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
They're getting
And then
dispatched from
finally-
that's a good, they're getting dispatched from the same dispatcher and the same CAD as we are.
Okay. And then the other thing that I was just curious about, since we're going to be getting some of this, um, I would say it's probably confidential information if I have a disabled person or if I have a two-family house with X number of people in it, whatever. How secure is that going to be from other people that would get into it?
So
Could get into
before we were
access?
able to bring it in front of this committee, we went through the IT security check. And so they've been vetted by IT and they've
Okay.
passed all their security checks.
Okay. All right. Good. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments regarding this item? All right, seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All right, all those opposed? Oh, okay, so that's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So next we're moving on to the police department. We have number one, authorize Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute any and all documents and agreements necessary to accept grant funding of the Department of Justice, the Justice Education Center, Inc. fiscal year 22 Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant. Is it okay if I just move both of these together, Chief Walsh? Since
Yes.
they're related? Okay. And number two, authorize Chief of Police James Walsh to execute any and all documents and agreements as may be necessary to implement the Department of Justice, the Justice Education Center, Inc. fiscal year 22 Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant. Can I have a motion, please? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. So we have Deputy Chief Dinho here and Chief Walsh here. Would you like to take us through a little bit of the history and information behind this, and then we can open it up for questions?
Yes, the first grant is for $18,000. It's specifically written for license plate readers. License plate readers are already in use in the city with LAS. This specific license plate reader, what the acronym is ALPR, Automatic License Plate Reader. It's a system being widely used in all municipalities in Connecticut and throughout the United States. There's several vendors, but we're already going through vetting some of the RFP process. And the companies, they're more or less, they're independent cameras that we install on pre-existing structures. And what they do is they're solar powered and they automatically read the license plates of the cars going by. And they are connected to the cloud provided by the vendor. So none of the IT goes through the city of Norwalk. And what it does, it's connected to our dispatch area through their website. And it's interconnected with NCIC and Collect. So it could tell us if there's stolen cars being read, if there's wanted individuals being led, silver alerts, amber alerts. So as you can see, in the past 2 years, we've had a significant issue. Just as an example, in Rowayton, with stolen cars traveling into Rowayton to do car burglaries and to steal other cars just for the theft, the joy of the theft. Mostly unlocked cars. We've had, that has slowed down as some of the messaging has gone out. But if we had these tools currently, we've been able to strategically place these things in avenues and arteries known to us where these vehicles are off the highway and traveling into areas where we have targeted that these crimes are occurring, and we'll be notified that you're traveling in there because it's an instant notification. So take an area such as Rowayton, there's Highland Avenue, there's Lower Flax Hill, and Lower Highland Avenue where they travel into deeper Rowayton. So they would be strategic points. And what we could do is just strategically move these throughout the city as we see crime, or as we expand the program, use them just to collect data. Not only do they collect license plates, they're continually reading the makes and models of cars. So if we have a hit and run involving a white Honda SUV, we could actually look and search with white Honda SUV or white SUV, and they'll tell us every single SUV, and then we could go through and call out the possible suspects. But also it gives us the ability to search by partial license plates. So if we get a partial license plate of 123, it'll give us every license plate during a different time span that travel through this intersection. Darien currently has 12 of these license plate readers. They have Ring Their Community, New Canaan has. And what you do is it all works with one big cloud service. So all our information is shared and gathered. And it's not a personal data thing, and all it is reading license plates where there's no reasonable right to privacy of vehicles traveling down the road when there's a license plate displayed. So with this grant, it'll allow us to purchase of 6 of these things for 1 year, and then I'll be pursuing funding through operational funding to carry out or possibly expand as we see the success of this program next year. I do believe we've been trying to get this program. It's sort of taken off in other communities, but I definitely see the benefit here in Norwalk.
That's great. Do we have any comments or questions around these items? Yes, Mr. Frere.
It sounds like a great idea. Would these devices be able to pick up the speed of a vehicle going past?
No.
Okay. And then these are stationary.
There is technology being developed in these that you will see in the coming years that they will be able to integrate that information. I've already seen that on the horizon. And as the state of Connecticut pursues more electronic IT-based enforcement, you will see
Hello?
an expansion of the capabilities of these cameras.
What's up, man?
Hey,
So-
Mr. Seed, can you
Can't
please
complain.
make sure you're muted?
Yeah, it's been
He's
crazy,
at a
man.
convention. I'm sorry. Mr. Seed, can you make sure you're muted? Sorry, Chief.
Yeah, so I got some kids. It's like a graduation event that we got, but
I have texted
so-
him just so you know too. He's just not.
Can we
probably
have somebody
seeing it.
mute him?
I just did,
He's
yes.
being
Thank you
muted.
so much, Danny. I appreciate it. Why is it that public safety is going off the rails the last couple of months? I apologize, Chief and Mr. Frere. Please continue.
I was interested to see how the party was going, really. But to get it back, then is there any way to integrate, those signs that we can put up that tells you how fast you're going? You can't integrate that with the license plate readers, or is that what you're talking about? Is in the future those things will be linked together?
What you see right now with the speed signs it's a completely different platform. Those are just radar grabbing devices, and it's just putting out the speed of the vehicle. There's no warning capabilities. Then you're asking, it's a rather small thing, and it's meant to be up high on the telephone poles. You have to understand, we need security.
Yeah.
They can't be ripped down. They need solar access. So there's a lot of considerations where the main usage is gathering criminal intelligence. But as there's a lot of technology that I've seen at different conventions and emails and such, that I definitely see that technology increasing, possibly with traffic cameras and some of the basic infrastructure that we already have installed in Norwalk using a back-end installation.
And you can move these all around the city too.
Yeah, if we decide, hey, we want to leave one on this telephone pole, it's getting good intel, or if we want to leave 3 permanently installed, or we want to move 3 based on what we're seeing strategically based on crime trends, yeah, we have that option.
Okay, good. Good, sounds great.
Any other questions or comments regarding these items? All right, seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor, please say aye or raise your hands. Thank you so much. I believe that's unanimous. Thank you. So thank you to all the chiefs. Miss Ayers has joined at 7:23. I just want to make note of that. You are just in time to adjourn. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Sutton. You know I like to keep my meetings short. And it would have been shorter had we not had
It's trying so hard to
technical
get here. I'm at
questions.
City Hall.
That's okay. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. And thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. These will all be on the agenda on Tuesday night at the full council meeting. So thank you. Have a good
Great.
night. Take care.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye.
Have a good